Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the MaeMaeTown podcast, everyone. Episode number 2. Not number 1. We're going number 2 today. I hope that everyone has been well since the last episode, episode 1, featuring Neodoodles, who is another very talented streamer and artist on here. If you're not following Neodoodles already on all socials, on Twitch, then you gotta go follow Neo because he's very funny. And he's not hard on the eyes either, if I may say so. I hope everyone's been well. I've had a pretty good week so far. It's been how many days? It's been about, what day is it? Sunday? Oh, it's been about a week. It's been about a week since the last episode. Last week we kind of talked about Twitch and just Twitch 101, streaming 101, what to consider if you want to start streaming, how to build a community, and a bunch of other stuff. And it was really great, and I had an amazing time with Neo. And I'm really excited for future episodes with other guests that I have in the old noggin list ready to go. I'm not going to reveal who that is, but it's in the works, and I'm excited about it. I really appreciate all of the positive reception that the podcast has gotten since the first episode. Thank you, everybody that has rated the podcast 5 stars on Spotify. I appreciate you guys so much, and everyone that has watched the video version of episode 1, which, by the way, if you're listening on Spotify or if you're watching on YouTube, you can come watch this episode, not this particular episode because it'll be over by then, but you can come watch the episodes live on Twitch on Sundays, usually late afternoon, early evening. So if you want to be a part of the chat and contribute to the conversation, then you can come to twitch.tv/MaeMaeTown, where we will be streaming live podcast episodes. But if you are listening on Spotify right now, or if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you as well. Be sure to like and hit the bell and all that stuff to be notified for other videos of mine. I do a lot of gaming. That's primarily what I do. So if you're not familiar with my Twitch channel, then I post playthroughs and episodes like that. So be sure to subscribe and you'll be notified for everything. Or do you have to hit the bell to be notified? I grew up. Okay, here's the thing. We talked about this last week. It's going to turn me to dust. I grew up with the dawn of YouTube. So YouTube, I was like 12 years old when YouTube was created. So YouTube has been in my life the whole time, but I still cannot keep up. I can't keep up with what you need to do. You gotta hit the bell. You gotta hit a bell. You can't just subscribe anymore. You gotta like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell. It's too much, which is why I took a long break from YouTube, because it is just annoying. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who's watching live on Twitch at the moment. In the future, this won't matter, but I appreciate you right now. Yeah, so I'm also reading chat. If you hear me pause, it's because I'm reading chat to see what people are saying. Silver says the bell is only for YouTube, Twitch is for notifications. Right. Okay. At least we have that straight. But yeah, like I said, hope everyone's doing well. If you aren't following me on social media, you can follow me at MaeMaeTown on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter is It's MaeMaeTown, because there's somebody who stole, I won't say they stole it because they did it first. But they have the MaeMaeTown handle on Twitter, and they have no followers and they've never tweeted. So my Twitter handle is It's MaeMaeTown. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm very inactive, except when I tweet really random thoughts. Like yesterday, I was super depressed, right? And I was like, you know what, let me tweet, because that's what you do when you're depressed, right? You tweet things that nobody cares about. So that's what I did. And I said, when I'm depressed, I can't just push through it like a lot of other people do. You know, when you get depressed and you're like, okay, we just gotta power through. We gotta work. We gotta do things. I'm just gonna power through. I can't do that. I have to stop everything that I'm doing and watch something like The Way of Water, Avatar, and sob hysterically. I have to cry. I have to sob hysterically at something. And I usually have to like simulate that experience by watching something I know is going to upset me. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but that's what I have to do when I'm depressed, because otherwise it gets like pent up and then I don't release it. You have to release it, at least for me. So that's what I did yesterday. And I also played some Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I've been playing a lot of recently. And I've really been enjoying that. And I want to talk more about that today, about Disney in general, because Disney is always a hot topic. And I have a lot of thoughts about Disney. And so we'll get into that. But besides that, I've been getting into a very healthy routine. I'm going to the beach next month with Neodoodles. It'll be our first vacation together, and we're very excited about it. We both have made a considerable effort and commitment to getting fit so that we can look good for the feed, for the TikToks and the Instagrams. Because, we're only going to be there for like 10 days, so we want to really make it count. We're going to take a lot of pictures and then videos and stuff like that. So we've been, watching our eating. We've been going to the gym. I went to the gym today, and I went so hard today. I don't know what it was, but I think I figured out the gym hack. You have to bring an iced coffee to the gym. This is from earlier, by the way. If you're on Spotify, you can't see, but if you come over to YouTube, you'll be able to see the video. It is the remnants of an iced Americano, which, if I can talk about Dunkin for a second, I love Dunkin. I recently converted to Dunkin from Starbucks because Starbucks, like, to me, I'm sorry, just the experience as a whole, it sucks. Especially, like, we're really supposed to be avoiding it at the moment, and taking this time away from it, I really see the benefit in not going. I will admit, I went a few days ago. I was at the mall. I went to Bath and Body Works, which I've talked about before. I am a Bath and Body Works stan. I just got some summer fragrances and candles that I'm obsessed with. And, I was like, like when I go to the mall, I just have to have a little drink. I gotta have a fun little drink. And usually the only coffee shops, at least in my malls, is Starbucks. And so I was like, you know what? Let's see. Let me get something and let me see. And I went, and I will say I did get a free cookie because it was broken and he was handing them out. And I was like, okay, cool. I got a free cookie. I ordered my go-to if I ever go to Starbucks, which I don't really anymore, is a grande shaken espresso with oat milk and some kind of flavoring, whether that's vanilla, hazelnut, whatever. I decided to get the lavender powder because I heard about their lavender flavor. So I got that. I got vanilla, and I tipped $1.20 because it was just like a preset, like 20%, whatever. My total ended up being $9 for this grande coffee. And I haven't been that mad in a long time. And it was like, when you get a coffee and it's too dark and it's gonna suck? That's exactly what happened. I saw him put it on the counter, and I was like, no, God, why? Why, God? Like, the fact that I spent, if it was like $5, I'd be like, okay, like, whatever, that's just what they do. $9 for a too dark coffee, which I know today, if you see on the video, I'm drinking an Americano, but that's only because I'm trying to not drink so much cream. Like, if I go to the gym and I have an iced coffee, I don't want to have a bunch of cream in my system, so I got an iced Americano with flavoring, so it's not too bitter. And it was really good. I like dark coffee. But when I'm expecting, like, a creamier coffee, and it's, like, it's not the right... You know what I mean. You know what I mean. If you know, you know. And I was like, damn. I don't think I'm ever coming back here again. And you'd think with everything going on that they would, like, get the let out with their drinks. That they would go the extra mile to ensure that it's worth it. But that was not my experience. And so after that day, I was like, it's Dunkin' or die, or local. Also, I'm sorry, I'm still getting over this like sickness that I have. I feel like my vocal cords are so weak, and so it feels like my throat is drying out every 5 seconds, which is great for the podcast. So I'm really stoked about that. But I'm just gonna make sure that I drink water throughout this episode. Um. So what I was saying, to go all the way back to the point that I initially was trying to make, Dunkin. I feel like I, I feel like it's kind of like an abusive relationship. I feel like they gaslight me because there've been many times where I've gone in and I've asked, I usually do mobile because then I get points, right? It's easy. I walk in and it's ready. It's always ready. There have been a few times recently where I've asked for something like let's say like an iced coffee with 2 creams and a couple shots of a flavor. I'll walk in and it's as if they gave me creamer. Just creamer. No coffee. Like, it's so white. When it's so white that you're not going to drink it because it's just straight creamer. So that happened, and then today I got an iced Americano with just flavoring, no cream. And it had like a slight see how it has like a lightness to it? When I first got it, it was even lighter than this, and you can see on the video, sorry Spotify users. It's got like a lightness to it that only cream would do. And I'm like reading the label. There's no cream that was accidentally like added to, you know what I mean? And so I will always go to Dunkin', but I do feel like they gaslight me with my drinks. Oh my god, there was one time where I walked in to pick up my mobile order and it wasn't ready, and I was kind of standing there, which is like my least favorite thing to do in life, is to stand in an establishment waiting for something where like people are looking at me. Hate it. Hate it. That's my biggest anxiety in life, is having to do that. And that's why I like doing mobile ordering, because it's like usually it's ready when I get there. And so I walk in and there's some tension in the air. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, you can tell the employees are a little bit like quiet, nobody's really talking. And I noticed this one employee was by they have like certain Dunkin' locations, they have like draft, coffee on draft, which is really dope. Which apparently those are the best ones to go to. He was kind of like, like wiping down the draft area, but like very slowly. And I have worked in fast food. I know that vibe. I know when like your manager yells at you and you're doing everything to not be near them. And that's what was happening. And so I'm waiting there and like, I know my drink's not ready. And I'm standing there for like 5 minutes before anyone speaks to me. And people are seeing me, But like, I know that there's like various roles within fast food. So like somebody's on window, somebody's like, in the back doing stuff, someone's on the register, and they can only stick to those jobs. Like they can't interfere with other people because it'll mess up the flow. I understand that. But like literally every employee in this place saw me standing there, and I come in there literally every day. I'm not kidding, every day. So they know me. And no one said anything for like 5 minutes. And finally, this lady came over, which I now know her name is Mandy as well, which is my name. That I go by May too, but sometimes I go by Mandy. It depends on what people want to do. Anyway, so she sees me and she's like, "Were you waiting on something?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm picking up an order for Mandy." And she looks around and there's like an empty cup. And she picks up the cup. And as soon as she picks up the cup, she walks over to the employee who was wiping down the draft bar, that I could tell there was something weird, like he was upset about something. And she gets so close to him and is talking to him in the manager voice, like, can you make her this drink? And he's kind of still quiet. And she's like, "Can you acknowledge that you heard me?" And I was like, oh no. And she's like having this like intense conversation with him while she's holding my empty cup. And I'm standing there like, oh my God, like what do I say something? Like, not only are you just standing there not making my drink, but you're like putting, here's the thing, like, this is gonna sound stupid, but I don't necessarily want to consume something that somebody has like put their angry, like aggressive energy over. I know that sounds dumb, but it's like, I don't know. I'm a big believer in like energy and stuff like that. It's like, if I'm watching somebody just like be angry while they're holding the thing that I'm about to consume, I feel really uncomfortable about that. But I didn't say anything. Eventually, she made me my drink after literally 5 minutes of talking to this guy with my cup in her hand. And I was just like, okay, take the drink. But anyway, so that's my experience with Dunkin'. It's like I never know what I'm going to get. And I've noticed that it depends on the employee. Like, I know which employee is going to get my drink right at this point at the location I go to. And I know who's not. And unfortunately, that manager girl, Mandy, it's not always consistent. So, but I still go every day because, like, every third drink I get for free. The points are amazing. So, like, it's better than going to Starbucks and paying $7 for an iced coffee. Like, no way, dude. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight on the channel, on the Twitch channel recently, and I've really been enjoying that. I will say that I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy the game, but I'm playing it on Game Pass. That's the only reason why I'm playing it, is because I got Game Pass recently, which has been awesome for streaming. If you're a streamer and you want to have access to a lot of games for like $10 a month, it's great. And I got it because I saw that Disney Dreamlight was available on there. And I was like, I've been wanting to play this since it came out in 2022? I can't remember the date. But I was like, man, I really want to try that game, but I can't tell, like, if it's good. I can't tell if it's, like, worth the, I think there's two versions. There's the base version, and then there's, like, the ultimate gold edition, which is, like, $80. And I was like, well, I don't want to pay for either of those. I definitely don't want to pay $80. And it's like, if I know Disney, I know that the gold edition is like basically the base edition. So like if you get the base edition, you're going to be missing a lot of stuff, which I've come to find that that's not necessarily true, because I think the version I'm playing is the base version, and I've spent so much time in the game, but I feel like I haven't made a lot of progress, but not in a bad way. I just feel like I'm really taking my time with it. So if you have Game Pass and you're looking for a cool new sort of, not open world, but like it's like a simulator kind of game, like a lifestyle simulator, it's great. It's really fun. But yeah, I don't think I would buy it outside of Game Pass. And I was thinking of a topic to talk about today, and one thing that has come up in my life, which, by the way, I'm a huge Disney fan. I love Disney, but I wouldn't say that I'm a Disney adult. And there are people in my life that would disagree. And I wanted to kind of hold a town meeting, if you will, about what defines someone who loves Disney, an adult who loves Disney, and a Disney adult. Because I think at this point, everyone knows what I mean when I say a Disney adult. At least everyone in North America knows, but I've noticed that people outside of North America aren't as familiar with the concept of Disney adults. And if you are one of those people who doesn't really know what I'm talking about, Disney adults are basically adult Disney fans that make Disney their whole personality, their whole existence. They usually, like, a lot of them will move to Florida just so they can go to Disney every single day, or they'll have the annual passes, of course, or they don't live in Florida and their whole house is decorated with Disney stuff, like they dress up in Disney stuff. There are definitely tiers to Disney adults, but the most extreme version, I have to say is pretty cringe. I just have to say it. I'm saying that as a big Disney fan. Um, yeah, there are people that would say, based on my qualities, that I could be a Disney adult or I am a Disney adult. But I would say that I'm not, just because I know myself. But at the same time, it's like there's really nothing to be ashamed of being a Disney adult, because I understand why someone would be that obsessed with Disney, because it truly is like such a beautiful art form. All the Disney movies are stunning. The music in those movies is incredible. I listen to it like every day. And the parks literally like are some of the greatest places I've ever been. The most fun I've ever had have been at Disney. And so I understand like the pure happiness that you get when you watch something from Disney, when you go to the Disney parks especially. But I will say that there are levels, and I don't think I'm quite there. But um let me read some of this chat, because people are talking. Silver says, Disney fan for you. I don't delve into Disney that much nowadays, but I do enjoy the classic and modern movies and shows. But I don't surround. I thought you said surrender myself to Disney. I don't surrender myself to Disney. I don't surround myself in Disney at all times. Yes, I think there is a line, right, where you respect the art. Maybe you watch some of the documentaries like I do. I am so amazed at the science behind Imagineering. I love Imagineering so much, and I think it's such a cool like thing, because like how do these people come up with these concepts and these designs? Like my favorite Disney Imagineer is Joe Rohde. He's like, I think he's probably the most iconic Imagineer, at least from what I've seen in like the documentaries and stuff. But basically Joe Rohde designed most of Animal Kingdom. He designed the world of Pandora. He did the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Anaheim in Disneyland. I think he did did he do Tower of Terror? No, but he did like most things. Oh, he did some stuff in Japan at Disneyland Tokyo, which, oh my god, is like my biggest dream, to go to Disneyland Tokyo and Disneyland Disney Sea. Is that what it's called? Because it's Disney, but it's a third party. I might be getting my terminology wrong, but Disneyland Tokyo is separate from Disneyland and Disney World, so they're able to have a bit more creative freedom with their parks. And just videos that I've seen, like, oh my god, it looks so amazing. I just want to go to Japan in general. But so what I've seen, like, for Disney adults, the most cringe that I've seen is the sort of entitlement that they have when they go to the parks. The classic, like, I don't know, they see the castle and they burst into tears. I wouldn't say, like, and I'm taking this episode to compare myself to that. I would never, the closest I have gotten to crying at a Disney park is the World of Pandora. I am a massive Avatar fan. When I go to Disney, which is only like once a year, because it's all I can afford, I spend most of my time in the World of Pandora, because to me, it's like, that's what I'm obsessed with. It is the coolest park, in my opinion, just in terms of design. There's floating rocks in the park. The sounds, the aesthetic, like the Flight of Passage ride is like the best ride ever, especially for an Avatar fan, because it really feels like you're there. It's so crazy. I did cry the first time I rode that, and I'm not ashamed. Because like when I first saw Avatar, I think I was 14 years old when it came out. I think it was 2009. I might have been 15. But I remember I went with my dad, and you know, we all know that Avatar, the first movie, was like a huge technological advancement. And so I went with my dad. I remember after my last exam before summer, and he took me to see Avatar. He's like, "Let's go see this cool like alien movie." I was like, "Okay." And we went, and oh my god, like we were so blown away by the technology. And that's actually what got me into film. And I decided to go to school for that. So I have a film degree because of Avatar, which is crazy. Because it was the first movie that I saw it, and I went home and I watched all the behind the scenes footage from that movie. And I was just like, you can do this? You can make movies like this? Like, I was blown away, as were a lot of other people. And then when I heard that, I think they opened the park the year before I graduated from college. And when I heard they were doing that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. And the first time I went, it was so unbelievable. Like, I was like, this is not real life. Like, you walk in the park and it's just like, it's like you're there. They made it look so real, and like, I don't know, I just have a lot of respect for the art of Imagineering and the parks. Like, you can just sit in any part of the parks and just look around and just take in every detail, and it, like, the attention to detail is so crazy, like what they thought of, you know? And so, yeah, I'm a huge Disney fan. I've always really respected the art behind it, and the music. Like, if it's one thing Disney really knows how to create, like, I don't know, like an experience, I guess you would say. And another thing that people do when they go to Disney that I don't do is Disney bounding, which, if you've never been to the parks before, you are not allowed to wear a costume for any character. They're very strict about what you wear into the parks, in terms of like, if it looks like you could be if it looks like you could be a character, basically. So people do what's called Disney bounding, where it's like you dress like a character, so you dress in the same color palette, you have similar like accessories and stuff like that, but you're not wearing like a straight up costume, so it's not confusing for the guests, or like for the branding. I have never done Disney bounding before. I also really respect people who do that, because it is such a cool creative thing to do. But I've never, like, when I go to the parks, I want to be comfortable, and I want to be, I don't know, like, I've never budgeted like out money for Disney bounding. Like, I'm just so focused on saving money for food and stuff like that, that I've never really factored it into my trip, because it's like, well, you know, all those extra accessories, like, I could spend on food. Then that's just like my thought process. I don't own any ears, no ears. I think the next time I go, I will buy some, but I'm also very bad at spending money. And some people will attest to that. Neo will definitely attest to the fact that I'm so bad at spending money. I'm really bad at shopping, in the sense that I have a hard time spending money. So if it's not like a necessity, I probably won't buy it. Even if it's something that's not a necessity that I've been like thinking about for a long time, I have a really hard time just swiping my card, because I'm like, the second that money goes out of my account, I'm gonna feel buyer's remorse. But one thing that I don't have buyer's remorse about is food. Like, I will grocery shop and I'll buy like all the healthy food that I want. I go to like affordable grocery stores. I don't go to like Whole Foods or anything like that, because it's just really expensive. Nia says we'll plan a whole trip to the mall, and she'll say, I might get it later, but later never comes. It never comes. I'm also like really bad at shopping in person. I get so much anxiety in like stores, because there's a lot of pressure on that. But when I shop online, I can take all the time that I need. And that's usually when I pull the trigger, because I have time to think about it. I can make a list. I love Amazon because I can make a bunch of different lists for different things. and it'll just sit there until I'm ready. And I can go back and I can edit it. I'm very like, that's how my brain works. I'm very organized in that way, and I like to be organized when it comes to shopping. I don't like the pressure of, well, if I leave, maybe they won't be carrying it anymore. It's the same with groceries too. Like, honestly, I have a really hard time grocery shopping sometimes because I'm like, I know that I'm going to want this tonight. I know that I'm going to want this for breakfast tomorrow. But I can't bring myself to put it in the cart because it's like, oh, but it's like $4. I don't know. I have a really weird brain when it comes to shopping. I really do. Also, can I just say, it's been already 40 minutes since the stream started, which means I only have about 30 minutes left in the podcast. It's crazy how much time flies when you're just in your brain and you're just word vomiting. Right? I don't know. But that's good. It's good to have a cap on on my thoughts because I'm ADHD and I will talk about 10 different things in an hour, which I guess that makes for good content. I don't know. But I do have I do have TikTok pulled up on my computer, and I might look at some Disney adult TikToks just to kind of prove the point. But at the same time, when I was looking, I've noticed that when I search like Disney adult tantrum, there's more sketches than there are actual videos of actual tantrums, which is like, I don't care about the skits. Like, I want to see like the real meltdowns because I know they're out there. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys would like me to do like reaction moments within the podcast. I'm a little hesitant because it's hard when you're across different platforms like Spotify and stuff like that because the audio listeners won't be able to see. But I don't know. Noodle, you also say you're gonna get something later, but later never comes. Oh my gosh. And I guess it's a good thing. But at the same time, it's like, it's the why. Why do I feel like I can't buy this? Just because of that fear of letting go of money. I don't know. I guess in the long run, it's good. It's good because usually when I feel that way, it's because it's like, I don't necessarily need this thing. I don't need it. But it's nice to have things. Like, I will say, okay, so I've said that like food, I have no problem spending money on. If I go out to eat, I'm buying it. I have no problem with that. I love food. I love trying new foods. I love trying new coffee shops. That's like my favorite thing to do when I'm traveling is trying all the local coffee shops and like cafes and stuff like that. Same with skincare. Well, sometimes with skincare I have that problem too, unless it's online. I love buying my skincare online because, like I said, I have time to think it over, look at my list. Okay, do I really need these 3 things or could I get away with just 2 things? I don't know. Like Bath and Body Works. I'm perfectly fine with buying 2 to 3 things because usually they have a sale. But when it comes to like, I don't know, just like things like plushies, you see a couple plushies if you're watching the video. You'll see some collectibles, a couple plushies on my shelf. I really stretch those out, those purchases. Like the collectibles that I have here, I only buy these when I'm in Toronto. Because honestly, that's the only place where I can find them, the Amy Picnic figurines. I treat myself to usually 1 mystery box item per Canada trip. And other than that, I really don't buy toys. I don't buy like collectibles. Toys. I sound like I'm a 6-year-old. It's true though, they are toys. Noodle says, talk about 10 different things in an hour. Yeah. So you get what I'm saying, right? But that's like the cool thing about an open-ended podcast, right? Is like I could talk about literally whatever I want the whole time and no one can tell me no. There will be episodes that are more specific about specific topics, about specific people. But for the solo episodes, I'm kind of keeping them open to whatever's going on, you know, in my life, in the world, in the gaming world, in the media. I have not been able to stop laughing at that Four Seasons Orlando baby. Me. And I love that it's everywhere. Also, they have now collaborated with the Four Seasons Orlando, which is so insane. TikTok is so crazy. How quickly someone's life can change overnight. Not me though, because I'm not active. I post like one clip every 2 months from Twitch. And it's just because it's like, I don't know if it's like I don't have the tenacity to post every day like you're supposed to. But I just like every time I do post a clip, I get like 200 views, which is really bad for TikTok. For Instagram, that's like a little bit better. But these days, if you're not getting like thousands of views, it's a dud, right? Which is so weird to say, but yeah, so the the Four Seasons Orlando, which I told Neo, we might plan a trip to Orlando when we're in Florida so we can go to the Four Seasons just to like do a TikTok or take a picture or something just for the bit. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. We're also going to try to do some streams while we're in Florida. So if you are into that, you can come to twitch.tv/MaeMaeTown and follow so that you'll be notified for that. I do want to get into vlogging as well. So maybe the YouTube channel will see some beach vlogs, some vacation vlogs. I love watching those. One of my favorite creators right now is Gabby DeMartino. She's like one of the OG. She's not like one of the OG YouTube content creators, but she and her sister Nikki, they were really big on YouTube and like in the year of like the era of like 2010. But she still does videos with her sister, but she mainly does her own thing on her own YouTube channel and TikTok and stuff like that. She's really into like antiques and vintage stuff, and she honestly looks like Ariana Grande. That's like kind of, I think she kind of went viral for that. So she has like the blonde hair and like the makeup, and she looks very glamorous, and her whole house, she has a house in LA and a house in I think Pennsylvania. And so she's got like two kind of different aesthetics, like the LA house, and then the Pennsylvania house is like super like coquette cottagecore, and it's so pretty. And I just love watching her vlogs because she just looks so glamorous, and it's kind of funny just because like I don't know how to describe it, but I just love living vicariously through her. And I want to start doing vlogs like if I travel, if I'm going to events or something like that. I think that'd be fun. I have done TikTok videos, like kind of not vlogs, but like I've gone to experiences in the past. Like we had the Stranger Things experience here a couple of years ago, and I did a video on that, and they actually reached out to me and wanted to repost it on their page. They never did because I think they had a lot of people. I understand like scheduling stuff. They probably had a bunch of other creators' videos that they wanted to post, but they did reach out to me, and I have the receipts. So if people want to say that I'm lying, I have the receipts. But that was so much fun doing like the voiceover and the editing and stuff like that. And I want to get back into that. If you want to look at my old like blogger style content, the account is called My Neighbor Mae, like My Neighbor Totoro, but My Neighbor Mae, MAE. So if you're into more like aesthetically pleasing videos from me, then you can follow me on TikTok. And Instagram has been inactive. I moved away from that to focus on MaeMaeTown, so I basically like stopped posting on that. And to be completely honest with you, I stopped being active on that account because I had a lot of people from like high school and childhood following me, and I just felt weird about like posting my Twitch stuff on there because like they would I know that they were looking, but they weren't like reacting to anything that I was posting, and it just kind of felt like, why are you following me? Like, you're looking at my story. That anyway, that's, we don't need to talk about that. But so basically I stopped posting on that account. I'm gonna start posting again, I've decided, when I start doing more blogging videos, food experience, stuff like that, you know what I mean. I want to get back into that because I really enjoy that, and it makes me really happy. And I'm going to be doing some traveling this summer and this year, so I want to get back into that kind of content. So you can follow My Neighbor May on TikTok and Instagram if you want some blogger content from me. But yeah, I'm really not that active on social media in general. I just don't like the feeling of it usually. Especially the Twitch stuff. Like, I know it's important to post, but every time I do, I'm just like, I just feel weird. I like existing in one space usually. And currently this space is Twitch, and I like the real time engagement. I like seeing the chat. I like talking to people. But I've been posting on YouTube to sort of like archive my old streams, and I'm gonna start posting new content on there as it comes out. But I don't know, social media has been I've had a weird relationship with it because like ever since ever since YouTube came out, I wanted to be a YouTuber, just like a lot of people. But I was so inspired by Michelle Phan, who I mentioned in the last episode. She is the original beauty content creator, like, ever. Her story is incredibly inspiring. She basically, and I know I'm ranting, but I got some time left, so I'm gonna rant. She started out going to Ringling College of Art and Design. She was an art student, and she really loved makeup and skincare. And I think her dream was to work for Lancome, which is a really big makeup and skincare brand. And so she had applied to work at the counter at like Macy's, and they rejected her. And then she started doing YouTube. She started posting makeup tutorials and skincare routines and stuff like that. And after gaining some success with that, she became an ambassador for Lancome. Like, she was the face of Lancome, like in their social media space at the time. And now she's like CEO. She's like a master like investor. She is so cool, and I've always been very inspired by her. And so I started making some content on YouTube when I was in middle school. Some of it was beauty, some of it was vlogs and funny videos with one of my best friends in middle school. And we had so much fun, and they did weirdly really well. And so I got a taste of that, and I was like, man, yeah, like I'm really into this stuff. But as social media changed over the past 15 years, it's gotten more and more complicated to keep up with. And when I started streaming, I was like, yeah, this is where I thrive, and this is where I like to be, because I'm getting that like real-time interaction with people, and it's so fulfilling. Whereas when you post something, on YouTube or Instagram, you just kind of throw it out into the ether and hope that somebody sees it. And for me, like, a lot of the times, not all the times, but a lot of the times, it's radio silence. And that's a really defeating feeling. And I know that's no excuse, to not post and to not try. But I've just gotten more fulfillment from Twitch, because it's like I'm getting that, I hate to say like validation, but it's more than validation. It's like, it feels fulfilling. But I'm making more of an effort this year to be more active on social media, because I do see results with that sometimes. Like with TikTok especially, you can really reach a lot of people with one video. So I'm gonna make an effort to be more active, I promise. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, Silver says Nikki and Gabby. Yeah, Nikki and Gabby. That's who I'm talking about. That's who I was talking about 15 minutes ago. Sorry. Yeah, Nikki and Gabby. I never watched their I knew who they were, obviously, from the beginning, but I never really watched their videos. I think I was a little old for their content. But yeah, they were huge back when, I think when I was entering college, like they were really in their era. Like same thing with like Bethany Moda, you know, that whole era of like beauty influencers and stuff like that. But it's cool to see those content creators, and I know we talked a little bit about this last week. It's cool to see how those content creators change and transform into their own sort of like, I don't know, it's like they really find who they are. And I feel like that's the case with Gabby. Like she's just, I don't know, she's really cool, and I really like her content, and it's just so pretty. Like it's so gorgeous. But yeah, other than that, like I don't really like consume, I feel like I'm very committed to like the content creators that I watch. Like I usually don't branch out very often. Some of my favorite creators, which we talked about Game Grumps last week. Game Grumps are like my favorite video game content creators. I'm pretty loyal to just them. But branching off of that, I love Super Mega, who they used to edit for Game Grumps, and now they have their own thing, obviously. I'm a huge fan of Super Mega. They have an incredible podcast, The Super Mega Show, and their YouTube content is so funny. So I really like them. I love Brittany Broski. I love who else do I listen to and watch? Oh, Cody Ko. I love Cody Ko and his wife Kelsey. Their videos are hysterical. If you're looking for really funny videos, you gotta go watch Cody Ko. But yeah, like that whole circle of creators, like I'm a huge fan of Drew Afualo. She's like top dog on TikTok, and her podcast is really good too. But yeah, I just like, I usually don't stray outside of like that small circle of creators. Because it's just like it's like so oversaturated these days. So like I get really overwhelmed with how many people are making the same kind of content, right? So, but TikTok has been great to introduce me into new people, and vice versa. Like, you know, people finding my streams and stuff like that. It's been really helpful. But ultimately, man, it's really oversaturated and it's hard to keep up. So I feel overstimulated most of the time. But yeah, I think we're almost at the end mark. I can't really tell. I should probably talk for a few more minutes. But I wanted to open up the floor to everyone listening and watching, and if you have any ideas for me that you want to see with the podcast or streaming, if you have any games that you love, and you want to see me play them, I do try to stream at least 2 to 3 times a week on Twitch. It usually ranges from anywhere from Nintendo to like PC to Disney Dreamlight, stuff like that. I am a what is called a variety streamer, which some people think that's really cringe, but it's honestly true. I play literally anything that I want. I've played like the Bratz games. I want to play some Barbie games this summer. I've played some old school like CD-ROM games like Pajama Sam and Freddy Fish and stuff like that. And so if there's anything that you loved like as a kid, I do a lot of like nostalgic gaming and nostalgic content. So if there's something you loved as a kid, let me know and I will happily play it. Silver says, are you ever going to get into Paper Mario remake that came out? So I want to say yes, but I think the answer is no. I just simply cannot afford it at the moment, but I want to watch like other people play it. Like, so if you have any streamer recommendations that are currently playing it, let me know and I'll check them out. But I think for right now, I'm trying not to spend too much on games, which is why Game Pass is so great, because I have access to all these cool like new-ish games that I've been wanting to play that I can play. But yeah, as much as I want to play the Paper Mario remake, the Thousand Year Door, I think it's out of my budget at the moment. But games are expensive. Games are very, very expensive, and they're only gonna get more expensive. I like I feel really bad for people in Canada who have to pay even more for the games. Um like their games are like $90 usually, which for us it's about 70 or 80. Um but man, that it's like as a streamer it's been really difficult because like there's like a new game like every month, every other month. And it's just like I literally cannot justify buying a new game every month. I have like usually I look at the year, I watch the directs, I watch the game awards and stuff like that, and I plan my year out. It's like okay, like last year it was Tears of the Kingdom and uh what other game came out last year? It was Tears of the Kingdom and one other game. I can't remember. Was it Pokemon? That couldn't have been Pokemon. I can't remember. But I usually plan my year out at the beginning of the year like okay, what are the two games that I'm going to buy this year? Cuz usually they're like $80 a piece. So I really have to plan it out. And then the rest is just like uh inexpensive games like on Steam and like Game Pass and stuff like that. Um so yeah, Silver says games are the same price as they were 30 years ago, still $60 or more. See, I've heard that before and I have a hard time believing it. I feel like GameCube games and like Nintendo games like when I was a kid were like maybe $30, $40, but maybe I'm wrong. Mario Kart 64 at the time was 60. Well, I guess my dad did buy all of them. So it makes sense if I'm just not aware of the pricing, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Cinna, you're enjoying Paper Mario right now. I see, like, I like would love to play it. It looks so beautiful. I know it's probably an amazing game, but like I said, out of budget, bro. Um, am I going to watch and react to Summer Game Summer Game Fest on June 7th? I think so. Yeah, I think I am actually. Um, so if you're wanting to watch a streamer like me react to Summer Game Fest, that'll be on June 7th. I don't know what time, but come on over here on June 7th and we'll watch it together. Because there should be some cool announcements, right? We are still waiting. By the way, I'm a huge Sonic fan. We are still waiting on the first official Sonic 3 trailer, where Shadow will be voiced by Keanu Reeves. I feel like they're probably going to show it around then, if not on that day. So we'll see, but I am on the edge of my seat waiting for that trailer. It's gonna be a good movie. I can feel it. They're gonna do a good job with it. That's my morning mantra every single day. The Sonic 3 movie is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I think Keanu was like a great choice. I personally would have liked to see Robert Pattinson or Hayden Christensen, which I know that was swirling around. But Robert Pattinson was definitely my pick, for sure. And I'm a little heartbroken that it's not him. But maybe it was a scheduling conflict. Who knows? But if you watch the first two movies, you'll notice that they make a lot of references to Keanu. Just like in passing. So it makes sense. I think they were setting it up. Maybe they knew the whole time. But I think he'll do a great job. If not, it'll be at some other event over the summer. Yeah, it'll definitely be this summer. I think it'll be by next month. We'll get the trailer. And I'm so excited. Sonic Adventure 2, like I mentioned in the first episode of the podcast, like my whole life boils down to that game. Like where I am now is because of that game. Like the butterfly effect and all that stuff. It's all because of Sonic Adventure 2. And if you want to know why that is, you can go listen to the first episode and I explain why. So needless to say, I'm very, very excited for this movie. So yeah, I think that's probably a good place for us to stop for episode 2 of the podcast. We are just about at an hour length, and that is the length that I'm trying to keep the episodes at. Last week's is an hour 30, so if you want a little bit of a longer episode, you can go watch or listen to episode 1 on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify. I want to thank everyone for coming out for episode 2. I can't wait to do more of these. I'm making this a weekly thing, so episodes will be released every Monday morning, and they'll be recorded live on Sundays. So if you want to be a part of the chat, you can come watch it with us on Sundays. And like I said, if you guys have any recommendations on topics or guests, please let me know. You can join the Discord. If you're on Twitch right now, you can hit the Discord command or check the link in my About section. I have a Discord section, so you can follow there or join. If you are on Spotify or YouTube, I will be leaving the link to the Discord in the episode or in the description box below. But yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Stay tuned for the next episode. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be great. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe it'll be just me again. And I hope that's okay with you guys. But yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Okay. See you guys later. Bye.